the other one has been stolen.
Whoa.
How do you steal a mobile home? Okay. Without anybody noticing? Interesting. So I got my day full. Got to figure out what to do about this.
If
Uh-oh.
you were if you were
Right.
to if you were to lose everything on this deal, the mobile home was gone, disappeared, whatever. What do you think you would lose?
Uh, Financially, or are you talking about like in general? What's the
However,
question
however
again?
you however you take that question, what do you think you would lose if this deal was a complete flop? What do you think you would lose?
Well, I would lose some money. I would lose a good partner in this. I would lose a
Hmm.
bad partner on this. Mm, I mean, I go back and look at this and say, okay, what did I do well? We did our research on it. It was a good deal. We invested properly, I think. What did I learn? Not to trust without having things inspected or double checked. And then I guess the next step is how will I do this better next time, right?
Hmm.
And so that would be uh, make sure I know all the facts in regards to these types of deals.
What do you think?
And, I think what we did right was based on the information that we had, we made the right decision. But it's, yeah, it's a lesson to be learned. That's for sure. Yeah, I agree, Dante. Not a loss, a lesson. It'll be an
Man,
expensive
that's some
lesson, but
expensive
it's a lesson
lessons.
either way. Yeah, yeah. So thankfully, it's a mobile home and it's not a single family or a apartment
Well, if
complex or
they would
something
have
like
if
that.
they would have stolen a single family, now that would have been
Well, right. I'm talking about what if it would have burnt down,
no, yeah,
right? What if we'd have, other things happen to
right.
properties. But, you know, I think I'm just gonna let the shock wave flow through me for a little while, and then about 30 minutes or so, I'll be right back up and try to get this handled properly. That's
All
how
you
I
can do,
normally
man.
work. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, you signed a contract, Mr. Johnson. That's good news.
Yes, sir. I'm excited to be closing on another deal in Texas with Jacob and Carson.
Oh, nice. Okay. Where in Texas?
This one is in Houston.
Very cool.
This
Awesome. Awesome.
hopefully, if everything goes correctly, um, I should close 3 to 4 deals this month.
Damn.
You're on your way. You're on your way.
I'm
That's what I
trying,
want to
man.
hear.
I'm really trying. Like, I keep saying it. I keep saying it. 100K, 100K, 100K. I want to get 100K in a month, and I just feel like I'm finally in a position where the systems and processes are real now. It's only a matter of volume,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep,
once
exactly.
once I
So
hit that
at
mark,
four a month. Yep, four a month equals one a week. Now the next goal is one a day,
yep.
right? But you got to get consistent with four a month first. 4 a month for a minimum of 3 months in a row. In a row. So if you hit four next month and then two the following month, you got to start all over again.
Mm.
Okay. So you got to have a minimum streak of three, and then after that, you push your goal. You change your goal. You make it bigger, better.
I like that.
Nice. 55K spread. That's what I like to see. I'm working on one right now that I think by around what's right now, February, probably September-ish. I'll share a nice little HUD in the closer section with you all good
Nice.
people. Yeah, yeah, that one I'm excited about. This one's going to be a juicy one. So we'll see. So what's going on? How come everybody's so quiet?
I don't know, man. We're maybe just maybe we're a little bit somber. Brought the
Yeah,
mood down, Bob.
yeah, I'm
No, I'm
sorry.
joking.
I
We're
know,
joking.
I know.
Joking. Sometimes you got to be real. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly. I mean, the
that's
reason I
important.
brought it up was because I saw John. I learned from John. You know,
Yeah.
he
No.
shares he
Yeah.
shares the good along with the bad, and
Hey,
and I love that.
I just talked about some things that I was clearly not doing right, this week. So,
Mm,
I shared that as well. So
there you go.
we're
There you go.
not nobody's nobody's off the stretcher by any means.
No, of course not. You gotta look at it all aspects. Every one of us make mistakes, and so you just gotta learn from them, as Dante said, and make sure you don't make the same mistake twice. And move forward.
Right.
You know,
That's
that's
in
all it is.
everything.
Exactly. Exactly. Good morning, Pansy. Have you started the stage and everything?
Good morning. I don't even know how I got on stage.
It's just natural now. We're gonna have Pansy on stage.
I guess, but I didn't do it on purpose. Good morning.
Good morning. How many leads from 10,000 messages? All right. How many messages does it take to get you to one deal? That's a good question. How many does it take, John?
I mean, I don't have
10K?
the KPIs. I think it's around 10K. We
You
get
don't have
about
the
a deal.
KPIs.
No, we get about a deal per list we pull with Kind, and those lists are 10K, so minimum. So we pull like a 10K list, and then we throw it in the REI reply, and we send out the messages, and we pop out a deal.
There you go. So, are you doing REI messages right now?
Yep.
And if you are, how many deals are you getting on a monthly basis from him?
Um, let's see. We we got one closing the 23rd from SMS. We
Mm-hmm.
closed two last month from SMS.
Nice.
Um, we got one from PPC. So it's like SMS and PPC.
Yeah. 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 Inbound, I think, is by far the best way. I know Dan's been pushing it hard, and I think he's right. Inbound is the best way, but it does take some money. So if you don't have it, then the quote unquote cheaper route is SMS and cold calling, and it's really not that much cheaper
Is
because
it is it though? Like, see
it's not.
that's
It's not. Yeah, I know.
that's
I
what
know.
gets me when
Yeah,
people
it's
is
not.
like, yeah.
No, no, you're absolutely right. It's not because
I think
it
what it is,
gives the
here,
idea or presentation that it is because initially upfront it costs less.
that's what it
Um,
is. That's
but
what see that's the key. You just
yeah,
said it. Up
yeah,
front, it costs
upfront.
less.
Yeah,
What costs money and spend in PPC, which what
yeah,
the expensive part
yeah,
is learning how to do it the correct way. That's what costs, and you're either going to pay for mistakes and learn how to do it yourself, or you got to pay somebody else to teach you how to do it the right way.
yeah,
And you probably still might make a few mistakes right off in the very beginning, but you're probably not going to get anything right in the very beginning. So I think that realistically, I will say this: our cost per lead is probably significantly cheaper than most of these people running SMS and cold calling because they're
no,
not factoring their time into that either. And
right.
for me, time is money. So
Hmm.
if you try to factor in how much time that you're spending, like how much is your time worth? So how much, like how much are you worth per hour? If you factor that equation, in with also the amount of money that you're also taking to get to that first deal, I guarantee you my cost per deal is lower.
Yeah, no
So
question. And if you stretch that to a year, for example, you'll see. You'll see that PPC costs less than cold calling and SMS do. I agree with that. But
yeah.
again, we go back to the fact that you have to have the money to be able to start with it. I mean, realistically, how much do you think you're going to need for a PPC campaign to be successful?
You're going to need to be able to burn $2,000 or $3,000 off the bat and learn mistakes.
Yeah, yeah.
You might even end up burning more than that.
I think it's more. I think
Yeah.
you're way conservative.
Or you can pay somebody, $6,000 to $8,000 and learn how to do it. I think though, if you are to get to that first deal, it might cost you 10K.
Yeah, if not more. Yeah.
Yeah, in total with everything.
Now, let's explain.
If we're talking about really running, I mean, you could get lucky,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, exactly. We're talking
yeah.
the averages. Now, let's explain what PPC, what we're talking about PPC when we say PPC,
Well,
because
you know, really pay per click is really running
Mhm.
Google ads. So running
Right,
SEO, running
right,
SEO on Google. That's really what pay per click PPC. But now we kind of just use PPC as like an overarching term
correct.
for ads in general. So
Yeah.
now you
So
have
PPC.
PPC,
Mhm.
which a lot of people consider that to be Facebook ads, YouTube ads, like anything, right? Like any ads run on any social media marketing online space
Mhm.
that people are clicking on and filling out. But realistically, pay per click is originally running Google ads, SEO to get people to click on your link to fill out a form. And every time they click, that costs money. So you pay per click.
Right. Exactly.
That's where the name comes from. Is every time they go and they click on that link for that traffic to be imported into your source, you're paying per click. So then you're going to have a cost metric there called cost per click. And that cost per click is essentially going to be your determination of how many people does, like does your website pull over from whether you're running that ad or whether the SEO, how effective is it? I mean, based off of that cost. And then out of that cost, how many people are actually, filling out the form. So then you're going to have, what I mean, cost per conversion. So
Yep, I agree. Now, what do you think about PPLs?
I
Pay
think
per
that
lead.
is probably the most expensive route you can go. I think it
Mm.
can be cheap if you have a very determined and high skill set. I think if
Mm.
you have a really good skill set, you can actually buy 3 or 4 leads and probably probably get a deal out of that if you're good. If you're really good on the phone and you have multiple exit strategies. But pay per lead is actually the last place that I would tell most people to go.
Really interesting.
I would tell most people to go the route because here's the thing is you're really spinning a wheel. And if you don't have all your exit strategies in place, if you can't novate, wholesale, fix and flip, cash, creative, and you can't talk on the phone and run your numbers really, you could end up spending 3 4 grand really fast because pay per lead could be for a lead that has all these motivating factors, could be $100 $200 a lead,
If not more,
if
depending
not
on your
more,
marker. Yeah.
depending
Yeah.
if not more depending. Yeah. So
So for example, in LA County here, leads are going at around $300 to $400 per lead, you know,
yeah.
and so it varies. But yes, you're absolutely right. You need to make sure that you have a set of skills where you are able to um, talk to those potential sellers and to be able to lock up deals.
Listen, the bottom line is you guys got to learn. You guys got to learn how to have the skill sets to learn how to sell your deals high. Um,
Mm,
it is not necessarily about um, it is not necessarily about getting like spending this or spending that or doing this or doing that. You got to learn the right skill sets to be able how to learn how to underwrite the correct deals and sell those deals high. Uh, I have drastically in my operation drastically depleted how many deals that we put under contract a month, but we rarely ever get a deal that falls through. Rarely anymore, but it was a lot. But we were putting a lot more under contract. But we've increased the exit strategy, so the value of the exit strategy. We have more exit strategies, and overall, we our underwriting is better. We turn away more people than we put on.
yeah. So Dante said we don't talk much about PPL on this platform, but it is another avenue. You know, I
That was how I
personally,
got my first deal.
yeah, I was going to say I personally still use PPL because it pays, and we know what to do with them. But you know,
That was how
uh,
I got my first deal. Was PPO paper lead.
yeah, yep, yep, yep. So it's another avenue, just so that everybody knows.
But listen, I've always been smooth on the phone.
It's because of that
and,
silky voice of yours.
and I knew it. I knew it, Bob. I knew I was good on the phone. I knew that I was like, I could do this thing. You know what I mean? I was like, I'll make this work. But,
Yeah,
I had a lot of help too. I had a lot of help. My mentor bought my first deal, so I didn't buy it. So I didn't have to like sell it to somebody.
cool.
So, that's
Makes sense. Um, all right. So, as everybody knows, we are here to answer your questions. Who has questions? Yeah, Matt Riley started with PPL as well as an agent. Yeah. Agents have more opportunities with PPL, actually, in my opinion. There's another one called, what is it called? Z Buyer. It's mainly
mm,
for agents, but it's also, I mean, investors can use it. I never had any luck with it. I tried it for like 3, 4 months and didn't get much out of it. But the leads are very cheap. But I figured if I was a realtor, yeah, it could work.
yeah.
Yep, Z Buyer RB. Their costs are like low, $15, something like that, a lead. So yeah, there are lots of them. All right. What else can we talk about today?
Bob, I'm curious. What are the average costs for double closing?
Average cost for double closing, anywhere between 1 to 2 points is about right
Okay.
of the purchase price. hmm Why is that? Are you
Well,
planning on double closing?
I'm looking at double closing on a deal here.
Yeah, yeah, anywhere between 1 to 2 points. And some states now you have to actually use transactional funding, which is the same thing, but you need to hold the money in escrow a little bit, or the buyer needs to hold it for at least one day. So, for example, here in California, okay, now it's now you can't just double close on the same day. You have to close on the first transaction, the A to B, hold it for a minimum of one day, and then turn around and sell it to your buyer on the second day. So it might cost a little more, but it's still worth it in some places. And when you're getting to double closes, as always, what we say is you better make sure there's enough of a spread. If it's like 10,000 or less, don't even think about doing a double close. It's not worth it. Uh,
Yeah.
we don't even look at it if it's less than 30K because it's not worth it for us. But yeah, if it's like 50 or more, then yeah, you should look at double closing. It's
Oh,
a viable way.
I have an update on the buyer story from yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the guy reached back out again late yesterday evening and said, "So where's my contract? Are we doing this or not?" And and my mentee like shoots me the picture, right? I said, he goes, "What do I say?" I said, ask him for a proof of funds. That's what
Mm-hmm.
you should do. What do you think his response was?
Oh, I gotta hear this.
He said, and I quote in the text message, he said, I can't show proof of funds when I'm financing a property.
When I'm financing properties, I can't show proof of funds.
Yeah, so that was his excuse. He goes, "What does that mean?" I
Means he's
go,
bullshitting you.
"That's what I said." I said, "That means I was right all along, man."
Yep.
And hey, listen, I'm not saying that I'm right all the time. There's many times when I am wrong, and I fully admit to it. But there's many times, and the percentage is quite high, where in these cases I do know what I'm talking about. And it just concluded everything for me. I was just like, okay, well that proves he's not a real buyer, at all, right? Like if he doesn't even have 60 grand in the bank to show, I don't even know why we're even having this conversation.
Mm.
So he was like, "Do we want to use him as backup?" And I was like, "No, we are not." There's no backup there. I was like,
Yeah.
there's somebody else, where this is not going to work. So, you know, um, that's just why it's important, guys. That's why it's important. You're doing your due diligence on everybody, and it's hard, man. This is. I just go back to this thing is why it's important to have a mentor, in your corner, for those reasons. Because if he wouldn't have known, right, this is what would have happened: is he would have, assigned that deal over to this guy, met all of his regulations. The guy wanted us to use his title company, right? So he would have had full control and full throttle over the deal. And he would have spun my guy around in circles, what I mean, lying to him, and the seller would have suffered in the long run. And who knows really where that would have gone. Potentially, he could have lost his EMD. Like I lost my EMD on my first contract that I ever signed because I didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? So that's why it's important. And
Yep.
that's why it's important to ask questions. That's why it's important to come in here, and if you have an issue or you think something doesn't seem right, ask a question. Don't just go with it, right? If
Yeah.
something doesn't seem right, it's probably not right. It could be, right? And you might just not know, but it's better to ask the question and someone tell you, "Oh no, everything's good," right? Then you just assume, and then it's not what you're expecting, and then it goes a completely different way.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Hey, Big Play J, you asked, what about buyers who only say they do double closes? When a buyer says they only do double closes, uh, okay. So they want to double close? Is that what you mean? I'm not sure I understand exactly. Maybe if you can jump on, or if someone else understands it, maybe you can help me figure it out. How do you spot a fake proof of funds?
It's a good question.
Call them up.
I always say you can ask for a picture of the bank account.
Well, that's the ideal. Is if you can get a
Yeah.
bank statement, okay? That's ideal. But a lot of times they'll send you a hard money lender's letter, and that's fine so long as it can be verified. So make sure you call up the number and say, "Hey, I got this letter from your company. Is this true? Is this company or is this person or is this LLC actually qualified?" They'll tell you. Ask it. All right. Let's see. Does the escrow company take care of the mortgage, or does the seller have to contact the mortgage company to pay for their remaining balance? No, escrow does. So when the buyer comes in with the money, escrow company takes care of all liens and loans first, and you should have a settlement statement which shows who gets how much, and that's the escrow company's job, is to take care of that. Few of the builders buyers for land deals I work with say they do double closes. I tend to not work with them though if they won't assign.
I'm even more confused. I thought
Good.
that I thought the follow-up statement was gonna clarify something for me.
I'm glad it wasn't just me. Okay.
Made me more confused.
Um, yeah, if you can jump on Big Play, I would love to hear it, exactly what you're saying. For land deals, I work with, okay, they do double closes. I tend to not work with them. They do double closes. Okay, so let's walk this through. They're buyers and they want to double close. So you've got a property under contract, a land deal, let's say, that you have under contract, and the buyer comes and says they want to double close. I don't know too many buyers who actually announce that they're double closing. But okay, if they want to double close it, so long as your contract gets fulfilled, I guess it's okay. I don't see any issue with that. There we go.
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Good morning.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so a few of the builders that I work with, they specifically don't do assignments and they only do double closes. So that's kind of where I was coming from as far as should we then,
So they're
go
not
ahead and not.
buyers, they're sellers, number one.
No, builders. These are builders.
They're still selling. Oh, I see what you're talking about. They want to buy from you?
Right, right. I have the deal under contract, but
Okay.
they only do double closes and not assignments.
Oh,
I
he's saying
see.
he's saying
I see what you're saying.
he can't assign to the
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. So they want you to close it and then they'll buy it from you,
Yep, makes more sense.
right?
Right, right. Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay. Now it makes sense. Well, if there's enough of
Tell
a
him to pay for
profit
the
in there,
fee.
yeah, there you go.
Tell him if that's their requirement, they need to pay for the fee.
got you. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think to negotiate that, but yeah, that makes sense.
And if you don't want to say that to them, or if they disagree, just add another
Add it to your
line.
fee.
Yeah, to your fee.
Okay, okay. For sure. Appreciate it.
You got it. Interesting question.
Oh, quick question also. Typically, what are you calculating? Like how much should you calculate in your assignment if you're gonna have to end up paying that double closing fee?
Well, always be conservative, so go at least 2 points. 2 points of the purchase
Okay.
price. Yeah? All right. I'm putting together a list of assignments for DFW, Texas by Monday, needing end buyers only. All right. Congratulations. Well, it's 9:01 my time. I got to jump off because I've got a day in front of me. But I wish everybody the best. I hope everybody has a great Friday, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you,
Have a
Bob.
great weekend. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the #1 most valuable real estate community in existence. If you haven't already, please consider inviting somebody you think would benefit from being in proximity with us. Send them that link, reirev.com or discord.gg/reirev.